For more on President Biden's economic plan and its potential impact, we bring in ABC's economic correspondent Deirdre Bolton. Deirdre, thanks so much for joining us. Now, Biden's plan expands benefits for unemployed Americans. The latest jobless report showed a slight decrease in new unemployment jobs, but companies continue to lay people off.
They sure do. And Lindsay, this was the first thing out of President Biden's mouth this afternoon, talking about the jobless, the fact that those numbers are rising and people through no fault of their own have lost their positions. So if we look at the overall economy, I mean, even data this week just show, quite frankly, we're going in the wrong direction. And the most recent data points from the Department of Labor show that last month we lost 140,000 jobs. So this is the first time we've actually net lost jobs since April. It's not a surprise. While the virus is here, it is really difficult for people to want to go in, even if it's legal, to restaurants, to bars, to travel. There are so many industries that are hard hit. And Lindsay, you know this statistic as well as I do. There are close to 16 million Americans who are on some form of unemployment benefits right now.
And today, the president extended the SNAP program, known, of course, as for food stamps, for an estimated 12 million Americans. Give us a sense of how much the pandemic has made matters worse when it comes to issues like poverty and hunger in this country.
It really has. About 1 in 6 Americans is really threatened by food scarcity. And if you look at that statistically, that is a 50% increase if you compare that number to 2019. So almost impossible to overstate how many people are really living in a vulnerable position right now. We know that President Biden signed off on that increase, of course, for the SNAP program, and then also encouraged the USDA to improve and increase by 15% what school-aged children will have access to. One of the side effects of the pandemic and the schools being closed is that a lot of kids, when they're not physically in school, are not getting enough to eat or not getting enough nutrition in their diet, Lindsay.
And how impactful is Biden's order that works toward a $15 an hour minimum wage for federal workers? And might that be able to help pave the way for broader minimum wage increases?
This was huge news. I mean, people have been talking about this for years. The last time that we saw the government move on this was 2009, and we saw, of course, that $7.25 or $7.25 an hour federal wage. So this does up the ante, puts a little pressure on Congress to pass this, not just for federal contractors, which President Biden did today, but to consider increasing this for all workers. What's interesting, too, is we had a little bit of a test bubble. And by that, I mean, economists were watching really closely the CARES Act in March. You know, we had that $600 per week. That was not by accident. You know, if you take a 40-hour work week times the 600, you do, in fact, can break it down into this new minimum wage. And when economists were looking at that, they just said, you know what, that did increase consumer spending, which, of course, as we know, is 2/3 of our economic activity. And there was that positive bump felt. So there are a lot of economists even who say, listen, a higher federal minimum wage is helpful. What would be more helpful is that higher minimum wage for all kinds of workers. Lindsay.
And perhaps we're getting closer to that. Deirdre Bolton, our thanks to you.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.